You're having a good time on the couch with your friends. You're having a good time in the bed alone. You're having a good time watching TV. Let us ruin your day. Yay!
Welcome to Now It's Ruined, the podcast for people who hate enjoying things. I'm Kate Bridle.
And I'm Larkin Harrington.
And we are so happy to be joined once again by our fabulous guest, Erica Vogel. Toward the end of the summer, Larkin and I were panicking. We were both going through it, as we discussed quite openly on the podcast. And we were kind of stressed about getting enough content out and bonus content and all of that. And Erica had been texting us with ideas. She's been a font of ideas for that. She's the reason we did the emu episode. And so she was texting us about Halloween. We were like, this sounds really great. We should totally research that. And she was like, I already dove down this rabbit hole. And I was like, why don't we just ask Erica if she wants to come back, because she was so great the first time. And so we did, and she agreed, and she is stepping in and doing an episode for us, which has given us some much needed breathing room to get out more content for you all. So Erica, welcome back, and thank you so much for being here. We're so excited.
Thank you for having me back. Anything I can do to lighten the load, I'm all about that. I do seem to be sort of hitting on a theme of holidays and festivals, so I expect to be back for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, as we go.
Great. If you're a holiday consultant, that's...
You're a highly paid holiday consultant, right?
Oh, God, I wish we could pay you. Erica's going to talk about Halloween for us. This episode won't come out on Halloween, but it'll come out the week before, so we wanted to do something a little festive. We're all spooky. We are all wearing the spookiest shirts that we can find. Erica's got one.
That's really cute.
Does it say Pumpkin Queen?
Yeah.
I love it. It says Pumpkin Queen. Larkin, you got your tarot, or what's going on?
Oh, it's over the garden wall.
Oh, cute.
Ooh.
Cute. Over the garden wall. And then I have my mic's blocking it. My Rob Zombie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He and Alice Cooper came to Reno a couple of years ago, and we saw them for the Halloween Hootenanny. So
If you can see Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper in Reno, you are really living the dream.
oh yeah, living it big. We were close too. It was awesome. We were close, really close for Alice Cooper, and then the mosh pit started in earnest when Rob Zombie came on, and I was like, it's not my thing. I'll stand on the outside and push people and brace the perimeter, but I don't want to be in there. Being bumped into is like one of my pet peeves, so it's not my ideal location. Still had a beer when the mosh pit started, like a rookie, and
Oh yeah, no way.
then I did not have a beer anymore. It was on me and the guy behind me. All right, well, we don't know what Erica's about to do to us here today, so we're just gonna buckle up and get ready. So
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Okay. So, obviously we're talking about Halloween, as you've already called out. I do want to make a quick disclaimer. Even though my shirt says Pumpkin Queen, I am not a pumpkin girly. I'm allergic to cinnamon and allspice, so I will be having 0 fall drinks.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer.
Don't worry, I make up for it at Christmas with peppermint mochas.
There you go.
Nice.
It's all about alternatives.
Yeah. I do want to say, as we get in, I'm a Halloween baby because my birthday is 2 days after Halloween. I am pagan, I am queer, I am trans, so there's no way I'm going to ruin this holiday for you guys. I'm going to maybe ruin a particular asshole-ish fact, much as I did with the Pride episode, right? So please don't worry that you can't celebrate Halloween. I want to lower any stress levels that might be happening for people because it's obviously a big holiday for the fam.
People don't come here to lower their stress levels. It's okay.
I mean, when I listen, I sort of find, there's usually the moment where I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. But more often than not, I'm like, oh, it's so soothing as we hear about horrible things. So, you guys are into the holiday. Obviously, I am.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
I'm obsessed.
Okay, great.
It's the only holiday I like.
Oh, wow, okay. Do you guys still get dressed up for Halloween?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do this year, but I had that stereotypical Barbie outfit for when I went to Comic-Con, and I've rocked that the last couple of years. It was a lot of fun because we actually had trick-or-treaters at our place where we lived before. I don't think we will here, but little girls were freaked out. It was really fun.
Of course. I've narrowed it down to 2 for this Halloween. I was really thinking hard about Moira from Schitt's Creek, but from the Crowaning movie.
Yes!
So the white lab coat with the crows and the feathers, which I'm prepared to pull off. However, partner and I were at dinner the other night with the kiddo, and we got onto Beavis and Butthead, of who she is a huge fan. So I have worked really hard to talk her into one of us being Beavis and one of us being Butthead. So TBD.
Okay, I was like, nothing's gonna top Moira in the
I know,
Crowaning,
me too.
but
I was like, How dare
Compelling.
you? I'm obsessed.
I can't wait for the pictures. Whichever one it winds up being.
We do costumes every year, Sounds like, Kate, you don't think you'll have much in terms of trick-or-treaters because I know you've moved this year. Larkin, do you guys get trick-or-treaters?
We really don't. It's really sad. We're like at the end of this local access only street, and people are really weird about their kids in this area. They like don't.
Well, you were really setting me up here.
They like don't let them out.
Are they prisoners in their homes? Or?
I think they're like just supposed to be in their yards, and people are. It's not a bad neighborhood, but it's always been known as kind of lower class. It's not that dangerous. I don't know why it's like that.
Okay, so hang on to that theme. I know Kate does this to you a lot, Larkin. Do you have a sense of the topic today?
I have no idea.
Kate kind of knows, I think.
Yeah, because you were texting me about it, so I have a vague inkling.
Okay, so first, I'm sure you both have heard about the tainted Halloween candy scare over, I don't know, the last, 50 years of trick-or-treating, right? The idea goes that malicious strangers are going to put like razor blades and straight pins and cocaine and cyanide in your candy, right? And those are sort of the three things that you hear. Like the candy has been poisoned in some way, that it's laced with drugs, as if someone would give up their stash. But
I was just going to say, a friend of mine who's a comedian made that joke a few years ago, was like, I'm not giving your stupid kids my weed gummies. Like, those are expensive.
Those are really expensive.
Yes, they are. And they're way too strong for that kid. Right. Yeah. And I don't know.
Kid's not going to appreciate it.
Yeah, right. So we're going to be talking about this topic today. So for this episode, we will be citing our sources. I will say that Mr. Cavill will not be disappointed with me.
Wow, this might be a first.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever not used a single Wikipedia. It's the first non-cavilled, fully non-cavilled episode.
There's plenty of information. We will be hearing from our friends at Snopes today. Britannica, as always, a common and recurring favorite. The New York Times, a couple of times. Reuters, and CNN. The current flavor of this really stems from the 70s, but honestly, we need to go quite a bit further back before we come back to the 70s. Halloween first comes to the U.S. around the 1840s, and the observance dates back to really the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, or Samhain, depending on how you pronounce that, right? And the idea is that it's sort of the night where the veil between the living and the spirit realm is the closest, right? Also coincides with like Day of the Dead, typically, for example. So we have all this going on. And it really comes to us from Irish immigrants in terms of the U.S. Most of America was sort of like, I don't know about that stuff. But the Irish immigrants were like, there's too many of us to ignore and we're going to do it. The first like citywide celebration is in a place called, I'm reading here, Anoka, Minnesota in 1921.
I know Anoka well.
You do?
Not well.
Okay, great.
But yes, and I was like, Anoka, is she about to say Anoka, Minnesota? Because yes, that's...
She is. She did.
I had no idea that Anoka was the first. That's really cool. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not Salem, people. It's Anoka, Minnesota. Get your facts straight. Sort of the foundation of the Halloween candy scare is the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, among many things, in terms of mass production, also impacts food preparation. We go from the place where you go down the street for your butcher, you go to your baker, you go to your grocer for your vegetables and your produce, people that you know in your town, to strangers making your food, unfamiliar machines making your food, and new ingredients used in your food. If you're going to mass produce bread, you can't just be hand mixing bread, right?
Right.
And if you're going to mass produce, let's say, candy, you have to come up with something more affordable and something in large quantities used, which is why we have high fructose corn syrup. So people were worried about this unfamiliar process of mass manufactured food, and it caused a panic. Doctors swore they were treating children poisoned by candy every single day. No cases of illness or death were ever substantiated. However, the U.S. Bureau of Chemistry conducts a wide-ranging series of tests to determine what is causing this issue in children. Turns out when you mass-produce candy and it's cheaper and you can buy a shit ton of it and you eat it, you get an upset stomach.
So kids are just like, they can get their little fisties on piles of candy.
Just little grubby, sticky fists of candy, right?
I mean, I remember the you dump that pillowcase out on the floor and you go, fuck fucking nuts.
So this is kind of the backdrop that we're in. We set up a system where people now feel uncomfortable with the food manufacturing process because they don't know the person making their food. Okay, so now we're going to come back to sort of the 70s and the modern scare that most of us grew up with. So this starts right around 1970 when the New York Times has an op-ed come out by a gal named Judy Klimsrud. She writes this op-ed that New York Times publishes. She suggests the possibility of strangers using Halloween's trick-or-treat tradition to poison children. In there, there's supposed to be two incidences that were unconfirmed that were mentioned, but I couldn't actually find the original. I found like someone's take on the article. I couldn't get the original article, so I don't know what those two incidences were. But two were in there and they're unsubstantiated. But she also offered a series of frightening rhetorical questions. She wondered if that plump red apple from the kindly old lady down the block might have razor blades hidden inside. So she sets off this furor. And there were some events that followed the article that sort of helped amplify that. And I will return to those. I want to kind of talk about set up this scenario so we can talk about the events with a little bit more context. So a few years later, it happens again with another New York Times article.
New York Times has been and remains occasionally unscrupulous in what they choose to publish in their op-eds.
Basically a very similar article, unsubstantiated claims like, daggers and knives and poison and people out to get your kids. This one caused such a furor that the governor of New Jersey signed a bill requiring jail terms for those convicted of tampering with candy.
But
right?
How many convictions happened? I'm dying to know.
I'm like, how? It sounds like they hadn't even...
2 zeros, 0.0. Well, let me put a little asterisk by that. Like how?
Sure.
Right.
I don't have enough fingers to make an asterisk, right? Yes, but not for what you're thinking. All right, we'll get there in a minute. Hospitals actually volunteered to x-ray candy to make sure that they were fine, right? And we see this still happening today. I remember growing up with that. I think when my now adult kids were trick-or-treating, I saw ads for hospitals and dentist's office willing to x-ray your candy, right? So
that does ring a bell.
For years.
I never heard of that. And candy isn't necessarily radio opaque, whatever.
The vet tech is incensed.
I guess the metal object would be. I don't know.
Yeah,
You're the expert. Tell us about it.
It would be. Yeah. I mean, the metal object would be. But like, what do you just like dump a bunch of candy on the table? That's so bizarre.
It's a feel-good measure.
So strange.
It's a
feel-good measure. Yeah. Like, ka-chunk, look, Mom, it's fine.
Yeah.
Let me shove all the Tootsie Rolls in my face.
Okay. So in 1983, we have another version of this. This time it's Ann Landers herself.
Oh.
The columnist, right?
I was going to say for those not born in the 1900s.
Yeah, no, those not my age. The columnist, Ann Landers, famous for like advice columnists, right?
Yes.
My context is just a few years older than you guys knew exactly who she was.
No, we know who she is. I'm just saying,
She addresses the concerns in her nationally syndicated advice column. She warned of twisted strangers who had been putting razor blades and poison in taffy apples. What's a taffy apple? And other Halloween candy. Is that a caramel apple?
A carrot? Yeah, is it a caramel
taffy
apple?
No, because taffy is different.
That sounds disgusting, number one. It's Taffy, apple.
Huh. Disgusting.
Listen, she didn't know what she's talking about anyways, right? So
she doesn't know anything. Let's just shut up, Anne.
Ignore Anne.
Yes, we should. So she goes so far as to claim that hundreds of children would be harmed and many would die. Right. And by the way, all these articles seem to come out on Halloween Day. Like, lady, that is too damn late to have this conversation, right?
The fucking audacity. Like, what are you doing? Why? It's just it's rage baiting before we had a word for it.
It is. It's rage bait. It just used to happen in the newspaper.
For reads.
Right. Yes.
Right. It's giving, the pearl clutchingest, like, conservative church mom. That just is so
you were
bored.
just giving away all of my stuff. Wow.
Kato, cut it.
No,
That's fine. No, keep it in there. We're setting the stage. We're creating drama.
Right.
Yes.
So
Foreshadowing.
hundreds of children would be injured and many would die. And she goes on to lambast the rest of the holiday by claiming the costumes were flammable and just even being near a lit jack-o'-lantern would send children up in a blaze. Right?
If they're not poisoned and eating razor blades, they're spontaneously combusting from standing near a pumpkin. Great.
And here you are thinking that's as far as she went. But no,
Oh, no.
it's not. Next up
And-
was they're not visible enough and all the children will be splattered by cars in the crosswalks. Right? She is out to get Halloween in this article in 1983, right? She goes like full bore.
Get a hobby, Anne.
This is her hobby. That's the problem.
Right, right. This is the problem.
Advice. Unasked for advice. This wasn't, no one even, typically the format is someone asks her a question and she answers
Right.
it. This one, she's like, fuck you guys. Here's what I think.
Just Anne being Anne.
Yeah.
Anne's hot takes on Halloween.
It's hot takes. Yeah, that was a lot of that was her work. So this sort of sets the stage. Right? Every year, somewhere in the news, there's a story about this, whether it's local news, excuse me, or national news. There's a story about the risk of candies and the danger of Halloween. That leads us to the question of, is it actually happening? Yes and no. So you remember that first article in 1970 from the New York Times? I'm sorry, not article, op-ed, because there was a difference. Right? Op-eds don't require any actual research. It's just someone's opinion they decided you needed. 2 days after that event, 5-year-old Kevin Totson died of a heroin overdose on Halloween in Detroit. Earlier media reporting of his death seized on the op-ed in the New York Times and said it was because he ingested Halloween candy laced with heroin. However, weeks later, after an investigation, turns out Kevin was at his uncle's house and he got into his uncle's stash of heroin. And there was like heroin in a capsule that the kid ingested. So not related to Halloween candy, but the assumption was, and then his uncle tried to play it off as that.
Of course.
'cause- yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it catches the national attention. People, after a couple of weeks, people stop paying attention. And what they remember next year is kid dies of heroin-laced candy overdose, right? 1974, also on Halloween, 8-year-old Timothy O'Brien dies from consuming candy laced with cyanide. Speculation again runs wild. This time the candy was laced with cyanide. Would you believe that his father, Clark O'Brien, had taken out a $20,000 life insurance policy on his son and his daughter before his son died? He poisoned a pixie stick that he gave to his son and his daughter and to 3 other children to allay suspicion so he could get the insurance money. Fortunately, his daughter and the 3 other kids did not eat their pixie sticks.
Oh my God.
Horrifying. I don't want to say more so than the idea of a stranger doing it to random kids, but like just to get your kid.
Wild.
Oh, that makes me ill.
So there's a whole trial about it. He's labeled as the Houston Candyman killer. But again, next year, no one remembers him. They remember the kid in the pixie stick. Now we're going to get into something that is adjacent to Halloween, and that's the 1982 Tylenol murders.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Larkin and I watched a documentary about this together last time we were hanging out, actually.
Great. So 7 people died of cyanide poisoning between the 29th of September and October 1st of 1982. Now, granted, it's not Halloween, but it's the beginning of the season. The case, from what I saw, is still considered unsolved. But it appears that a man by the name of James Lewis is the likely culprit because he also tried to blackmail Johnson & Johnson for $1 million over this. So have you guys heard that it has been solved or not in the documentary you watched?
I remember the takeaway for me was that, like, oh, we knew he did it, but, like, he wasn't formally charged.
So one of the things that happens, not only does this happen near Halloween, but it kicks off a lot of national nastiness right in the aftermath of copycat killers. So none of them actually fit the profile of a Halloween poisoning, which is a treat tampered with in a way that would harm a child and then given to a stranger. However, there were, quite a few incidences of everyday items as well as other medications being tampered with in and near Halloween that caused this fervor to happen again. But as you can see, I'm kind of painting a picture here is that the root of this is based in crimes that happen near to or try to blame Halloween for their intended targets, not actually meant to be a random Halloween killing. They're just using the fervor around this to hide their tracks.
Right, which is so interesting because it's almost like the fervor caused it, or at least enabled it. Certainly caused the one, the dad who was like, oh, I can use this to cover. Like,
interestingly, the tamper-proof packaging that we all live with today on a variety of items is directly related to the Tylenol murders. So In 1985, a 30-year study was conducted looking into poisonings and was published by a sociologist by the name of Joel Best from the University of Delaware. It found not a single confirmed incident of child death or even serious injury related to strangers giving children candy. Most reports of poisoned Halloween candy that appeared in print were editorials written by authoritative voices in politics and media rather than actual events. However, police all over the country urged parents to accompany their children while trick-or-treating. And in 1982, the annual Halloween festivals at the governor's mansion in Hartford, Connecticut were canceled as a result of all of this. So Snopes, the sort of myth-busting, urban-busting website, weighs in 2000. They say police have never documented any actual cases of people randomly trying to poison children on Halloween. It's not a thing that actually happens. Not saying it's never ever happened, saying we've never linked it to Halloween and someone actively trying to commit a crime.
Against kids they don't know, yeah.
So, why does the panic happen? So let's talk about some root causes. Now, we sort of talked about them a little bit in terms of the Industrial Revolution, but we should talk about this sort of modern era we're living through, right? So when it comes to Halloween and this sort of urban legend, you cannot disconnect it from what was happening in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Not just because it happened during those time periods, but the political environment. This is the oh my God, and but of course segment of the show. So the prevalence and persistence of these stories during the mid-60s through the 80s happens during a time of social upheaval, reflecting societal questions about who was trustworthy, which always translates to xenophobia. Mm-hmm. We just come out of Vietnam, right? Creating a ton of political unrest in the United States, a lot of political activism, a lot of protests. Even more importantly, what else was happening? Civil rights movement. So greater racial integration was happening in everyday life, and in particular into what? White neighborhoods.
Right.
Here we go.
So those newly integrated neighborhoods were deemed untrustworthy. Here's the second half of oh my God, but of course, the improved status of women. Young women who were rejecting the ideal that their only choice in life was to be a wife and a homemaker and a mother were also seen as untrustworthy.
Yeah, so don't go to the single lady's house down the street. Who knows what she's putting in her
She might
candy.
be an actual witch. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not a mom. She can't be trusted. Don't go to the black family down the street. You can't trust them. Mm-hmm. Right? So this environment caused the oft-seen white moral panic over the safety of their now changing neighborhoods and safe zones for children. Our final third of the oh my God, but of course segment of the show, fear. So I wonder if you two recall what happened in 1973. Quite a famous ruling.
Oh shit, now you said ruling and now I'm like, oh no, I should...
You're going to kick yourselves. Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
What happens after Roe v. Wade? Well, obviously women get the right to choose. But the main thing that happens, and that we are living out today, is that the evangelical church decides to make inroads into to politics, to start pushing their people into politics. Some Christian churches, especially those attended by conservative evangelicals, continue to declare a kind of war on Halloween over the preceding 50 years that have happened. But this is really in retaliation for Roe v. Wade. They feel like they've got to get in and get back control of the good old-fashioned conservative America where women and black people don't have any rights.
Get that church back into that state. Come on now.
Right. Actually, in a totally side subject thing that I did on my own outside of this, like when we look at what has happened in politics in the last 50 years, the Christianization of politics, because it really wasn't that big a thing before. The genesis is Roe v. Wade and the evangelicals church's decision to push their membership into politics to try to bring America to be a conservative nation. They even changed the narrative, right? I've got this little side trip for you all. This idea that we are a Christian nation doesn't hold a lot of water for a couple of reasons. Number one, 60% of Americans today sort of see themselves as affiliated with Christianity, which seems like a big number. However, only 31% actually attend church even once a month or pray regularly. Those other 30%, just like, well, I was born a Christian, so I'm a Christian.
Christian in name, not practice.
44% of those 30% who attend church regularly are liberal, which is surprising. What it is that we have a very large evangelical church spinning on the right. that has created huge platforms, mega churches, and all of that. And they keep telling this narrative that we're a Christian nation when actually, when you take a look back all the way to the founding fathers, most of them were deists. They were Christian by association because their parents were and they were baptized in the church. But they were deist in practice, which is that sort of the intellectuals version of a higher power. Like the reason why you see framing in the founding documents of a sort of vague God, right? They don't name Jesus, is because it was sort of like the intellectuals version of that. And because they were pushing back against the idea of divine right that had been used against what at the time was the colonies so well. Famously, George Washington refused communion the entirety of his adult life.
Really?
Ooh,
He did not go to church.
That's
He
fun
refused
to
communion.
bust out.
Yes.
This is so fascinating that you're bringing this up because I'm entrenched in this research right now, like John Locke,
Great.
the Enlightenment.
Yeah, so he refused communion, and the priests of his time recognized him as a deist, not a Christian. And he is just one of the founding fathers that would fit into that group. So, busting that whole narrative on the side, we are not a Christian nation. We're not founded on Christian values. That is a narrative that's being pushed by the very extreme right. So that is also in the backdrop of this Halloween, right? The continued messaging of like it's witchcraft. They literally see it as the incarnation of Satan, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, and then I'm sure war on drugs hits the scene and is like...
Right, because Nancy Reagan's war on drugs is exactly at that time.
Right, and it's like, that's part of the scare of like, it's cocaine, it's heroin, it's all of these things. You know, this is why we have to get these drugs off the streets, because now they're going to our children and their candy.
No one gives their drugs away for free.
No,
It does not happen.
unless you're real homies. Like,
Yeah, unless you're like, oh, you're coming over? Let's
Yeah.
hit this J together. Otherwise, they're not giving it to your kids. No.
we can't afford groceries. You think, and this is important that
Yeah, pot's not
In
cheap
this
for most
economy.
people.
in this economy, my vice, I'm going to share my vice with your little crotch goblin. I don't think so.
Yeah, your crotch goblin is not getting my gummy.
No.
It's way too strong for them.
Or my
It'd be way
cocaine.
too expensive.
No,
Right,
no,
or my cocaine.
Not my cocaine. I don't do cocaine.
Folks, if you're listening, we're not doing that right now. It's over. The era of cocaine is over,
because
okay?
it's very dangerous right now. It's
Yes.
laced with all sorts of shit.
Now that we've sort of set the stage, and we're really gone way past setting the stage, right? But let's talk about the impacts of not only the sort of the fear tactics and the environment, and you know, sort of how religion has sort of fought a war on anything good, I guess.
Anything fun. If you're enjoying yourself, religion says, stop it.
Hey, listen, I'm part of the Unitarian Church. I go to church occasionally. I enjoy myself, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all
religion.
Christians are bad. I'm just saying some need to mind their own dang business. I'm not your special interest hobby, okay? Leave me alone. I mean, listen, when you're trans in America, it does seem like half of America has made making my life miserable their special hobby. But anyways, get a better hobby. I don't know, get into birds. You know, knit. So donate food to people who need it. Do so, like, you don't know me.
Yeah, find a cause that's uplifting people maybe instead of tearing them down. Just a thought.
Anyway, so let's talk about like sort of this phenomenon and why it happens, right? So why did a few small tragic crimes not related to Halloween become this kind of tidal wave that happens every year, right? Well, it comes down to urban legends. Ultimately, this is where our friends Britannica come into the picture. So I'll give you the definition. They typically combine secondhand narratives, such as those heard from a friend of a friend, with contemporary settings and familiar everyday objects, right? So kids going outside, playing, having a good time, eating candy, and suddenly they die.
Explode by
Right.
pumpkin.
Yeah, exploded by pumpkin. Folklorists believe that urban legends reflect those anxieties and beliefs in modern society, such as fears related to technology or crime. Right, so urban legends prey on those things we haven't voiced aloud, and they give us permission to say, without really admitting it to ourselves, I don't want my kids to be around Black people or women that don't have kids.
Yeah, or I'm just thinking of that urban legend of, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's like someone goes to Mexico and buys a cactus and then the spiders come out of it and plant eggs
Oh,
or
right, yeah.
something. I can't remember, but I remember that it's like related to Mexico. Like that just popped into my head
Of
really
course.
clearly. Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I never thought of
Most urban legends will revolve around like some kind of crime, some kind of worrying technology, some sort of worrying statistic that people kind of relate to and hold a belief around, and it sort of conveniently fits into their narrative and allows them to talk about it without really kind of outing that inside voice that maybe they're even unaware of, right? Because there's obviously, outward racism that people exhibit willingly. There's also the time that's internalized that people haven't really admitted yet. So yes, sexism and racism.
Oh my God, but of course.
Oh my God, but of course, the definitive answer here is that there really is no stranger-based candy tampering that has happened. That doesn't mean it's never ever happened. It just means that we don't actually have crime to tie it to. It is the fear of the other, the conservative religion at play, sexism and racism, and bad actors trying to hide their planned crimes that prop up this yearly narrative. Ask your kids to be safe. Stop worrying about if someone laced their Reese's peanut butter cup with something awful.
Because why would someone do that?
So that's my thing. I do have a bit more of a side topic if we have time.
We have
Of
time.
course we do.
If you have time.
Okay, great. So let's talk about most popular candy and least popular candy. Now, so I found a regular list of like 8. So instead of 10, I wonder if you guys could name me the top 8 most popular Halloween candies.
Like most popular, like people actually like them, or like most.
Yeah,
bought?
not purchase. Well, we can assume that bought means they enjoy, but yes.
Okay, because I feel like candy corn is going to be on there, even though it's very, it divides people.
It does
hate
divide
it.
people.
Candy corn is not on this list.
Milky Way?
Okay, so bottom 8. Ooh, Milky Way is a good one.
Milky Way is not listed.
Snickers.
Ooh, Snickers? Yeah, Snickers.
I'm sorry, and this is probably by volume, purchase volume, so I should make that clarification, right?
Definitely Reese's.
Reese's are on here, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Pixie Sticks?
Pixie Sticks, no. All right, so let me just read them off.
I feel like they're out of vogue.
Yeah, the 8 most purchased are peanut M&Ms, somehow come in the top as one of the most purchased items. Jolly Ranchers is number 2. Gummy Bears, number 3. You think about gummy, like when you buy those
the little
packs of
baggies.
mixed candy.
Oh, yeah.
There's tons of in there.
Yeah.
Godiva chocolates somehow come in at number 4. I don't know who's giving Godiva
Who's
chocolate.
giving Godiva away?
Damn,
Maybe Godiva
all right.
has like a less expensive line somewhere in there.
Show me the Godiva neighborhoods.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Toblerone shows up somehow.
Whoa.
Red Vines. And whatever the heck Milka is. And I checked a lot of lists. I don't know what Milka is.
Milka?
Milka?
Oh, yeah, they're like European, I think. Milka chocolates. They come in like a purple packet.
Okay, so let's talk about the least popular items. Now, you already named one. Candy corn comes in at number 2. I wonder if you guys will even know what number 1 is. Most people are really unaware of this candy. Circus peanuts.
Oh, ugh, yes. Ugh, ugh, ugh.
Oh, wait.
Those
is
little
that the-
foamy. The
The foamy, nougaty
no.
peanuts that taste like really bad vanilla gum, but aren't
I've
gum.
never even tried one. I looked at that shit
No.
as a kid and was like, nope.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Then candy corn, then Necco wafers, the worst evil redheaded stepchild cousin of the Smartie. This is one I had never heard of before. Peanut butter kisses. So Hershey's has a kiss that's peanut butter flavored. I'm like, is it because Reese's is like the perfect candy? Which, if you are me, you believe that to be true. Wax Coke bottles. Do you guys remember these things?
Oh, the
yeah,
wax
yeah. You
Coke
bite the top
bottles.
off.
You bite the top off and you get some gelatinous
Goo.
goo. Smarties turn out to be quite unliked. I don't mind Smarties. I'll eat Smarties.
I like Smarties. That always used to work out for me as a kid because I was like, I'll take the Smarties. I like them.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, and then finally, black licorice. I don't know a person who likes black licorice. Why does it hang around? What is the deal?
Scandinavians, I think,
I
like
love
it, right?
black licorice.
What is wrong with you, Lark? No. Why? What is it about? I mean, like, it's sort of vaguely sweet, but anise. Like, what is the deal? I don't get it.
I mean, I'm the freak that, like, my mom came outside once and we had a fennel plant and I was just eating the tree. Like, I love fennel and
Anise
Those
and all of that
flavors, yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I like anise. Like, I don't even dislike anise flavor. It's just something about black licorice in particular that I'm like, not for me. Like, I don't mind a Sazerac.
Sazerac's like sort of the level. I mean, like, I can get that down, but I don't like fennel. I don't like anise, and it's, I don't get. I mean, I know Scandinavians are famous for loving it, and I just feel like, have you not had enough processed sugar in your life to know there's something better?
No, because they're all healthy and, you know.
God damn it!
it tastes medicinal. I think a lot of people don't like it for that.
That's funny because that's typically people's complaint about gin, even though gin today is far less medicinal than it used to be.
Yeah,
I don't like medicinal things.
Jägermeister, medicine.
Oh yeah, Jaeger, no way. And what's the green liquor? The green liquor?
Absinthe.
Absinthe, blah. Before we live where we do now, sort of out in the DC suburbs, we lived in South Carolina. And so we went to this bar there called Vault and Vader. It was in an old elevator and bank vault company. You go in, like it's in the back, sort of like a whole back alley bar
speakeasy
experience.
kind of like
It's very speakeasy, right? And they primarily are serving Jägermeister and absinthe. So we're like, we've never tried it. We might as well. And we both hated the hell out of that experience.
No, absinthe is like you wash a glass in absinthe and then do some stuff.
No.
I don't know about drinking it straight up.
No. This was like a glass of absinthe for you. And I was like, cool, this will be fun. And
They didn't even pour it over the sugar?
Maybe, but there's no amount of sugar cubes.
There's no saving it.
Okay, Larkin.
It's just
If you like it,
unacceptable.
sure, it's great. So little side comment for you. Since you do like black licorice, I know there's like this craze of like fancy black licorice. Are you into that? I don't want you to feel judged. I'm actually genuinely curious.
No. I don't really buy candy anymore. Like I just don't have a sweet tooth anymore. So I haven't bought candy in
I don't really either. It's weird.
forever.
Good
So
Lord. I'm hanging out. Who are you two? You don't have a sweet tooth anymore?
I used to have a major sweet tooth as a kid. Like I would eat, my
Same.
aunt would make me dulce de leche, and my Uruguayan aunt, and I would just eat it straight out of the jar. And I just can't do it anymore. I don't know. That being said, I did eat like 4 Dove chocolates last night. Just like shoved one after
That's just
another in my
life.
mouth.
That's just surviving life at this point.
They're like the Silky Promises, which I hate as a name first off, but they had the flavors I wanted. And
That gives all the wrong kind of vibes.
all the sayings in them were so lame. It was like, you get one life, be bold, be you, like all exclamation points. And I was like, this isn't what I need in my life right now.
that's not a silky promise either.
It's not a very silky promise. You make me some silky promises and come back to me.
Come back to me with some real silky promises. Huh. So sorry I said that out loud.
Yeah, right? You're just like, "Ooh."
I apologize.
Give me your silky promises.
That's at least palatable, you know?
It's our new phone sex line, Silky Promises. Yeah, I got them and I walked up to Nate in the store, like behind him, and I was like, I got us some Silky Promises. And he was like, oh, what? What is wrong with you?
He probably had different visions than some of the pieces of chocolate. I don't know.
Does that sound like it could be a condom line also?
Oh, 100%. Silky promises for her pleasure. Well, that's what I got today. That's my Halloween spiel.
That was really interesting, Erica. We love
Thank you. Very, very fascinating.
Again, so appreciate you being here and doing this and taking an episode
Yes.
off our plate. And it's so much fun when both of us get to be in the dark and just react
Yes.
together. I love that.
I imagine your listeners feel the same. You're having sort of the listener experience. Obviously, when one of you's do it, you're in the know. But like as a listener, I'm like, oh, what's coming now? Like I saw you put out a Hello Kitty one, and I'm like,
You do.
can I listen to that one and get through it? I haven't had a chance yet. But I would imagine it's sort of like our experience where we're just listening to you two talk about it. So
Yeah, and that's what we find fun about it is that one of us kind of gets to be the proxy for the audience. And at the moments when you're going, wait, are you serious? One of us interjects and goes, wait, are you fucking
Wait,
serious?
are you serious?
We always try to be that like stand-in for the audience, and it's kind of fun that we get to do that. So thank you.
Oh,
so
that's what I
much.
was gonna say. Part of why I feel us kind of outsider feeling people or queer and like us little weirdos over here just latched onto and feel so safe and comfortable with Halloween. And it's like a space that we immediately knew was for us, which is really interesting. And in the way that you were talking about it, it was made like looked at, by these pearl clutching Anns who are like,
clutching. That's the new name.
pearl clutching
Clutching
Ann,
hands.
trying to make it into something it's not. And we just saw it and said, sure, yes, it's the time for freaks and dolls. Like,
We
what?
can go be our extra selves. Funny that you say that. I didn't actually include this. I kind of skimmed over it because I was worried about our time. The perception, particularly by the evangelical church, is that Halloween is a time of excess akin to Mardi Gras. That's one of the reasons why they want to clamp down on that.
Too much
I
fun.
would recommend all of them go to a fucking gay Halloween celebration and let loose for a minute and see how much fucking
They
fun
might
it
like
is.
it. It's really fun to be a queerdo, man.
It is.
It's one of my favorite
I say
words.
like I'm.
You're a
Hey.
queerdo.
You're
Don't
fan.
worry about it. You're a queerdo.
Thank you.
You're a theater kid, so
yeah. Queer by association.
thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you. This was
welcome.
fantastic. And we are so excited to release it for our audience. So there you go. Halloween. Now it's ruined. And we will be back at you next time. As ever, tell your friends, tell your enemies, join the Patreon, follow us on Instagram, and follow Erica too. We'll drop her link
Yes.
in the show notes. And be tuned for the next book, which I'm so excited to hear about.
Oh yes, quickly. It is going to be how we, as a queer community, navigate forward from a place where fascism has taken hold. What does our path forward look like?
Oh, that is so exciting.
Gorgeous. I'm obsessed with you.
On Tyranny is what my mic is resting on.
I have that in my Amazon shopping cart. I need to buy it.
I haven't actually read it yet. A friend gave it to me. Anyway, okay. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, all of you.
Thank
We
you.
love you. And fare thee well.